Could you position any property as a trophy property? What things could you do? Say if you had like an average property that was kind of run of the mill. I mean, maybe it is one of a kind, but it's still not amazing. What could you do to just make that thing look like a trophy property and increase that perceived value? Because a lot of land value is perceived value. I mean, that's kind of what goes on when people decide whether or not to buy it.
Well, I think that's a great point, because when people think of days on market, they're pulling from some data source, right? They're going, what is the days on market? And they're looking, well, days on market was different for the crappy property with the terrible lead photo and the non-responsive agent. It was a different days on market than it was for the agent who sent a drone photographer out there, right, and did a beautiful...
Sounds like every agent I've worked with.
A beautiful 4K cover photo, right? You know what I'm saying? So like days on market, it's like sometimes it's apples to oranges, like in how it's listed, like you're saying. So I think that's a good point. Like a trophy property would be, maybe if the lakeside lot and we're having it cleared, we're going to go out there and have the brush cleared and have it mowed so that the end buyer is or in the agent, like they can see the lake from the road. They don't have to walk through this overgrowth, right, to see the water, right? So, and then we're going to have a drone photographer take drone footage of it. It's one, they're going to give us aerial photos, which stand out because they're going to show the lake, right? And we're also going to have a video. Okay, so you're right. How you position that is a big part of like the trophy, right? The trophy property. So that's a good point. Definitely would have been an oversight for me mentioning is how you position on the sales side. Some of the things you can't force or dictate days on market, but you can make decisions during the pre-listing that influence days on market, meaning these great photos, on-site great photos, drone videos and drone photos, okay? The cover photo, right, is key and huge, right? The copy, the cover photo, all of those things are going to play a role. But then there's even a couple like things prior to that, like what objections are, once we do find the buyer, the clickbait, they click on the lead photo, they put in the inquiry, they work with the agent, like what are their objections? What are they going to ask? Okay, like, boy, it's kind of has some low spots and we're going to need to bring in fill dirt. Like, have you had it surveyed? Has it passed a perk test? Like, what are these friction points, and what are these points that are going to eventually the end buyer is going to say, I need a longer due diligence period because now you fill in the blank, right? If you ask yourself that question ahead of time, prior to going to market with it, you get the survey ahead of time, right? If you get the survey completed, you get maybe a wetlands report if you're in an area like that. Every end buyer objection, if you get it addressed, and it helps with your due diligence anyway during the acquisition phase. But if you call companies ahead of time, hey, do I need to bring in dirt? And if I did, how much, right? Like to level it out or to build. So you anticipate all the end buyers' questions and objections and things that are going to make them go, well, instead of a 30-day close, like we need 60 days to do the due diligence. No, you don't. Here's the survey. Here's the wetlands report, right? Like here's, you combine that with the great on-site photos, the drone footage, maybe clearing the lot or going up and taking pictures, like the picture, right? Like a current picture, not a Chamber of Commerce or a Google Images picture of that county or the local area. I mean, an on-site photo. Like if it's a trophy hunting area, right? Let's go up there. We've got a guy out of Flagstaff that'll drive out there and take on-site photos, right? Take pictures with him and his truck in them, right? Like on there. So yeah, you wouldn't want to score a trophy property and then fumble the ball on the marketing side and disposition side. But if you elevate your game, even on the cheaper stuff, like you're saying, Seth, like even the cheaper stuff, when we used to operate in that like 5,000 to 15,000 range at the very cheap properties, on-site photos were huge, and we would brown that and tout that, and we'd say on-site photo, we'd watermark it, right? On-site photo and date stamp it, you know. People could see the road access. They could see the car in the picture, right? It wasn't a generic photo. So I think all of that has an impact on like if the buyer's scrutinizing the listing, right, at any level. Like just anticipate buyer objections and solve those ahead of time and then market really well. And it's going to reduce your days on market, and your days on market will be like the the ones pulling down the average, in the area.
Yeah, for sure.